one last thing. Kind of a short day today. I think we got through this pretty quick. I thought it would take longer, but no, I think we did good. Let's do a Dave Ramsey rant on taxes, just to tie this up into a nice big bow.
All right. Let's hear what he has to say.
All right, do you want to cage match this one? We could cage match it.
Yeah, why not on the fly?
Do it. Cage match. Dave Ramsey. Everyone should pay income taxes. Bum bum.
Wall Street Journal has a blog out today in the economics section that says that a survey has been done that this just blows my mind. 57% of Americans say their income taxes are too high. The problem with that statistic is only 55% of Americans pay income tax. So at least 2% of you are so stupid that you think your income taxes are too high and you don't even pay income tax.
Okay. Bum bum. Bum bum. 2%. So stupid. It's actually 57 minus 55 is 1.5, but that's just me nitpicking. It's not 2%, it's 1.5%. Plus, because I love Dave Ramsey, I love them. They never read the article. They'll quote these articles, and I'll go in and read it and watch the video and like, what the fuck are they talking about? Because it was a Pew Research poll, I think. What was that? So this is the article. It's a 2016 article. All right. So what's going on? Why is it that the percentages are off? One possibility right here is the survey itself. Gallup poll has a 4 percentage point margin of error. So it could be the poll was a little off because they didn't ask every American. They just asked a handful, right? Second possibility is Americans aren't distinguishing between income tax and payroll tax and Social Security and Medicare and the 2/3 from all households, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, that's not unusual for a poll to be off by a few percentage points. 1.5 is actually pretty narrow. So that's already...
Well, then let's ask a question which we can't totally answer, but which Americans really got polled? What was the sample a really good indicator of what all Americans think at all of the different income levels / tax brackets?
No.
We don't know that.
No.
We don't know that.
Well, right. In a poll, I mean, they probably grabbed whatever, a couple thousand people, and that was what they got.
Right.
That's why you run statistics on a poll, because it's never a perfect representation of the actual sample or the actual sample you want to test. So your sample is just what it is. So yeah. So for him to get like, I love how in his mind though, it was like they interviewed everybody in America, and 2% of you, 1.5 really, are idiots. And then part of you sitting there thinking, well, dude, if they interviewed everybody in America, I think, Dave, you should remember taking this poll. You live in America. I don't remember getting called on this one.
No, me neither.
So it's just one of those things where it's stupid. But it's going to lead into his even stupider rant. Because once again, it gets to the point where they didn't read the article. Because had he read it, all he had to do was get to the 4th paragraph. Because that's what I just read to you. I didn't conjure this. I'm not a genius. I just read through the entire 7 paragraph piece.
Right.
I just took the extra 45 seconds to finish reading the article. But I love it.
How bizarre is that? See, I think if you make more money, it's okay for you to pay more money. I make a lot of money. I don't mind paying my fair share, the same percentage of my income that you pay. But I do have a problem with half of Americans not paying any income tax. Half have no skin in the game. None whatsoever. Now, they pay other taxes. I'm talking about federal income tax. You pay sales tax if you have sales tax in your state. You pay a tax on your gas. You pay a tax to get your tags. You pay a tax. You pay a tax. You pay a tax. You pay a tax. I get it. You pay taxes. But I'm talking about federal income taxes, which we just filed last week, right? If you filed your taxes on time. Half of Americans approximately do not pay anything into that. Zero. Many actually receive money. They didn't pay anything in, but they receive money.
That's true. That's true. You see where he's going with this?
Yeah, well, he's essentially going to the sort of the place of basically just accusing people of being greedy, you know, like you're not paying anything in and you're just receiving all this stuff and blah, blah, blah.
But here's where it was. We looked at this before. Right here. With Vox, right? The purple is income tax. Corporate and property tax is the dark blue. Payroll is the yellow. Consumption is the orange. Okay? Who were the ones not paying taxes? The poorest Americans. That's who he's talking about. He wants to tax these people, the bottom 50%, more.
In the purple zone.
In the purple zone, which would increase all their taxes.
However, that doesn't mean it would decrease any of their taxes in any of these other categories. Right. So it would just like bump the whole thing way straight up.
As where Dave actually falls into this category, the furthest right category.
Now, arguably, it doesn't sound, you know, if the reality is what he says it is, and we have to just take him at his word here on his opinion, but he doesn't seem to mind his purple zone going into the fair share category. So theoretically, if his purple zone went up, he ideologically would be fine with that. But even that being said, it still puts the people in those lower income brackets with all of it being increased, really.
Right, but you got to remember what we looked at in the other video. A lot of his money is not income tax.
Right.
The reason their income taxes are so low isn't because they're paying a lower percentage. It's because a lot of their money is not income tax.
Right.
It's coming from other things. Right? So they're avoiding taxes. So if you raised it, it still wouldn't affect him because a lot of his income is not income tax.
Right.
So he's literally saying we need to raise taxes on the poor.
But the question is whether or not he realizes that that's what he's saying.
Well, that's a good point because that's one of two.
He might not realize that the degree to which his taxes would not go up.
Sure.
I mean, they would probably go up some, but he maybe doesn't realize all the different areas where he wouldn't really see an increase in his either.
Right. And
because in all fairness, he might not actually totally have thought through that breakdown or know that.
Right. And I have two arguments on that. One is he knows it, and what he's really saying is we need to tax the poor more. Right. And he's got his sycophants doing that first clip we did, talking about, no, we need to cut programs for the poor. So we need to take more from them and give them less. Right? And he knows that that's what he's doing. Which you can think whatever you want of him. I think it's pretty despicable. Or, as you pointed out, maybe he doesn't know. In which case, he should not be calling himself a financial expert. He should not be calling himself a financial guru. He should get rid of his fucking TV show. He should pull all his books off the shelves because he doesn't know what he's talking about. If you're going to sit there and say you're a financial expert and pitch your books and pitch your show and all this stuff and say that you are actually you're out there changing lives and being a great guy, and you know finance, and you don't understand what you're saying, I'm sorry. Time to hang up your fucking spurs. Sorry. I mean, you disagree with me? Am I off on that one? Because the bottom line is, if I'm saying,
Well, I'm going to put it in maybe a slightly gentler way than you do, because that's just me. But I would say, at bare minimum, he should be able to recognize what he doesn't know and be able to say where there are potholes in his understanding, because we all have potholes in our understanding of varying things. But there's something to be said about being able to recognize what they are, and if he doesn't have the ability to recognize where those things lie, or even to think, if he's so naive as to think he doesn't have them, that's scary.
the bottom line is it's the same with professors, right? If you get up there and you say, okay, I'm an expert in physics, and you say something demonstrably wrong, yeah, that's about the time when your credentials go away and nobody trusts you anymore. The difference is he can get away with his shit forever because he's never being judged by anybody who knows what they're talking about. He can always hide on his little show.
Well, and as you said, there is not a credential for financial expert. It's not like
It's
that
made
means
up.
that you have a PhD, XYZ. It's not even a designation. I could call myself a financial expert, and it doesn't mean I have any designation.
It's only a designation in court. It's for accountants that do forensic accounting who testify in court are called financial experts.
Right.
Not personal finance people. For him, it's a totally made up thing. So yeah, he's hiding behind a made up title, and I mean, I could say that I'm the God Emperor of finance. It doesn't fucking mean anything.
Can I be the Goddess Emperor of finance? I enjoy that.
Yeah. Queen of the Andals and the First Men, Breaker of Chains, the Unburnt. Yeah. Mother of Dragons. Yeah, you can do all that, Liz.
Mother of Dragons.
Oh, you never read Game of Thrones or was it Fire and Ice or saw the show?
No.
Oh yeah,
I did not.
Yeah, the Dragon Queen. Her whole title was like a paragraph of.
Really?
Every time they introduced her, yeah.
I don't want a paragraph. I'll just take a few select words out of it.
Yeah, every time they introduced her, it was like Queen of the Andals and the First Men, Breaker of Chains, the Unburnt. It was just a whole big Mother of Dragons, blah blah blah. It was this whole big long ceremony just to introduce her. Anyway.
Oh my.
But yeah, but like I said, at that point you're just making shit up. But my point is he should know. If he doesn't know, he should quit. If he does know, he should admit that he just hates poor people.
When they file their income taxes. Did you know that? See, listen, I've been broke. I've made $20,000 a year. I've made $18,000 a year. I've made a lot more than that. And I get it. But everybody ought to pay something. Even if it's $2. You ought to pay something. You ought to pay something. If I make 10 times what you make, I don't mind paying 10 times more. But I do kind of mind being the only one paying. In fact, I really mind that a lot. A lot. And then I'm really resentful and angry when, people come out on the extreme left talking about how we need to increase taxes on the rich. Well, that's the only people you're taxing already.
Ooh. Only the rich pay taxes.
Now he's really confused. See, I don't know that I think his intentions here are so terribly sinister. I just feel like he doesn't understand.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I think at this point,
which is problematic. I'm not saying that that's a good thing. I don't think that he's like trying to be a jerk. I think he just literally doesn't understand.
I think he's just so used to being insulated and being greedy that it's never ever occurred to him. It's never occurred to him because we We'll do it. I'll show you one more time here, kids. Here it is. Dave Ramsey is the far right of this chart. To say that none of these people pay taxes, just the rich. These people all pay taxes.
It's incorrect.
He's full of shit. And yet he's got people on his show talking about the debt ceiling, supporting the Republicans, and we need to cut our spending. Well, who are they going to cut? Who are we talking about cutting? We're talking about cutting Medicare. We're talking about cutting the ACA. We're talking about cutting food stamps, SNAP, WIC, everything that helps poor people, middle and lower income people, all those people. They want to cut all that stuff, but they hide it behind this nice glossy, well, wait, they don't pay income tax. Oh, see, the debt's too high. We're overspending. Shh, we need to rein in our spending. Why? Because we're responsible. This is the same example I gave earlier, where Lacey and I were the parents and we're the government, and we can't pay our bills. So you know what? I'm sorry, kids. We have to cut your medical spending. No more insulin for Timmy. But I'm still going to go out and buy my guns and tanks. I'm still going to give subsidies to my buddies next door. And Boeing and Lockheed Martin and Exxon and wherever. I'm still going to do that. But you know, Timmy and little Susie, the kids, yeah. No, can't go to school anymore. Nope, no more books. They try to hide it behind all this shit, but that's essentially what they're talking about. They're talking about taking away money from poor people. And I want to go back to that guy, Mr. Morris, in his argument, which was, if you do that, you don't have a strong middle class who can spend money, and then our economy goes to shit. And then we can't make money. If you hoard it all at the top, then all you have is a starving, resentful populace. You got to start distributing that shit out. Otherwise, you can't make any more money. You can't do anything. How are you going to compete? And I'll give you a great example of that just from a side note. You know where the best financial minds and papers are coming from nowadays in finance, academically? India. Not the U.S. anymore. Nobody comes to us. They go to India. So,
that's interesting.
Well, you know why? Because India spends money on people studying finance, especially U.S. finance. They do better research on us than we do. In Calcutta. I mean, come on. So,